Hi, everyone. We're Team 7, and this is our strategic management pitch for Guardian Bikes. My name's Holden Williamson, and presenting alongside me today is Cole Wheeler, Stephen Song, Tori Mueller, and Catherine C. Going through our agenda, Cole is going to be giving a brief history of Guardian Bikes, starting with its initial company focus on its SureStop technology. After, he'll discuss their expansion into bicycles, followed by their investments in company growth, and finishing with Guardian's production expansion plan. Next, Stephen is going to present a bicycle industry overview, followed by a steep analysis. Then, Tori and Catherine will be explaining our marketing plan and focus, which will discuss what we believe Guardian can do to further expand their current customer base. Finally, I'll be giving our concluding thoughts, wrapping up everything we discussed in this whole presentation. Now I'm going to pass it off to Cole, where he can talk about the history of Guardian Bikes.
Thank you, Holden. So now going into the history of the SureStop technology and the origins of Guardian bikes. So SureStop braking technology was invented by Brian Riley, who is the current CEO of Guardian Bikes, when he was in college. He was motivated to develop this technology after seeing the long and painful recovery his grandfather had when getting in an over-the-handles biking accident when he was young. He initially pitched the technology to large bike manufacturers, but they were hesitant to mass produce this because they believed it may undercut the value of their existing bikes that did not have that technology. Additionally, the profit margins for just selling the brakes was extremely small unless the bikes were mass produced. This led to the Guardian Bikes origin that was founded in 2015 in Irvine, California. As mentioned previously, the company started as SureStop, which is now the braking technology that is applied to all Guardian bikes. The SureStop technology was sold separately, but Brian decided to integrate into producing full bikes and developing the one lever safety brakes for children's bikes, which was an underserved portion of the biking industry, because the SureStop technology or something similar to it did exist in the biking industry, but it was very rarely found on children's bikes. So continuing on with investments in company growth, in 2016, Brian Riley and the other Guardian Bike co-founder Kyle Jansen went on the Shark Tank to pitch the Guardian Bike idea and received a $500,000 investment from Mark Cuban. The investment was contingent on a few things, which were 15% equity in the company, a revamped marketing strategy, and hitting certain sales goals. They met all these requirements, and the deal went through. Fast forward to 2022, Guardian's been able to raise $3 million more in capital and have garnered $33.5 million in lifetime sales. So expanding production in the United States. Coming off the successful round of investments, Guardian has opened up a factory in Seymour, Indiana, in the United States. Their goals with the factory are to scale up production and meet the increase in demand that they saw, particularly in 2020. Additionally, with production happening in the United States, they can avoid future supply chain issues and be able to get customers their bikes more quickly, as most of their sales happen online and the bikes need to be delivered. Now, moving on to discuss the industry, this is Stephen.
Thank you, Cole. I'm now going to talk about the bike manufacturing industry in the United States. To start, it's a $1.1 billion revenue industry, and it's expected to grow at 0.8% for the next 5 years. It has a 3.9% profit margin, and that's very slim due to the high number of middlemen in this industry keeping prices high. Some key facts is that there are no major players in this industry, and bicycle costs have been inflated due to COVID-19 and supply chain disruptions, but prices have come down slightly since then. It's a very capital intensive industry that requires a lot of money upfront to start the manufacturing process. To dive more into it, this is a steep analysis, and there's a lot of tailwinds driving bicycle manufacturing and bicycle usage in the United States. To start with social, and this is from the Census Bureau, by 2030, the population of people 65 or older will make up 21% of the population. And we're assuming these people are wanting to retire and pick up new hobbies, and we think bicycling will fall into these hobbies. The average American also spends 51 hours a year in traffic, and this number is increasing. And this is a tailwind for people to find alternate forms of transportation, such as cycling. For technology, electric bikes make up 11.5% of the industry, and it's forecasted to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 10% for the next 10 years. So it's going to be huge in this industry. For economic, COVID-19 increased car prices, and this has shifted a lot of people away from buying cars and wanting to try cycling instead for their transportation. The Russia-Ukraine crisis increased commodity prices, such as gasoline, and this is another factor that have steered people away from wanting to drive cars and try instead alternate forms of transportation, such as cycling. Reshoring is going to be huge, we're assuming, in this industry, because as I said earlier, the presence of middlemen drives prices up. So a lot of these companies want to do things in-house in the United States. For environment, the Paris Climate Agreement has made a lot of people aware of the net zero climate initiative and has turned people to cycle instead of drive cars to help the environment. And for political, bike lanes have been increasing in the United States across cities. And let's take New York, for example. They added many bike lanes, and they found that retail sales increased along the streets that have implemented the bike lanes. And this isn't just a phenomenon in the United States. In Seville, Spain, in 2006, they only had 7 miles of bike lanes. And in 2013, they have over 200 miles. So thank you for listening to the industry report. Now I'm going to pass it to Tori to talk about our marketing solution.
We will be focusing our marketing plan to better appeal to grandparents. As Brian mentioned, Guardian's main target is wealthier adults. This includes some parents, but is better met by targeting grandparents willing to buy a more expensive bike as a gift for a grandchild. In order to further appeal to this demographic, we plan to emphasize an aspect of Guardian that we feel is underrepresented. This is the fact that Guardian bikes are high-quality, American-made products. According to CNBC, 64% of people 65 or older will be willing to spend more money on a product that is American-made. Grandparents already are drawn to the company due to its focus on keeping kids safe. Increasing the marketing about Guardian's US manufacturing would add another reason for grandparents to want to purchase Guardian bikes over the other companies. According to the US Industry Report on bicycle manufacturing, many major players in the industry have shifted production overseas in order to save money. 79.9% of products are expected to be imports, specifically from China and Taiwan. Advertising that Guardian is an American-made product will allow the company to differentiate itself while appealing to its target demographic even more. Now that I have explained the demographic we will be focusing the marketing towards, Catherine will elaborate on the specific changes that need to be made.
A huge marketing component for Guardian is that it is made in the USA. So what we did to market this out is create a new logo that clearly emphasizes that Guardian bikes are made in the USA. How we're going to promote this new logo is by making mail ads as well as social media ads and campaigns. We will send the product to social media influencers and have them do campaigns and emphasize the fact that it's made in the USA. We also want to put the logo on sales displays and packaging so that people who come into stores or order our products online also are knowing that the product is made in the USA. We also want to have the logo at trade show promotions where we are displaying the bike, and the huge logo that may stand upon the trade show set is the Guardian logo that we see on the slideshow right now. We want to focus on the fact that the production is in the USA, which helps us market towards the older community. How we want to market towards the older community on top of the promotion of the new logo is having catalog ads as well as mail and television ads. The older generation doesn't really use social media and will look at catalogs and television ads a lot more than they will online. We also want to have community events where Guardian puts up displays and events in schools or their local community areas, and have these older generation people as well as their families and anybody in the community come to test out the bikes, have fun at the events, and really get that Guardian name out there. Specifically for the older community, we also want to do exclusive sales and promotions. So anybody over the age of 65, for example, can get an exclusive promotion of a certain percent off of bikes, or getting a buy one, get one free. This will allow them to want to buy the product more likely and have more incentive to buy the product.
Thank you, Catherine. Guardian Bikes has carved out a niche segment in the cycling industry with its focus on safety from its SureStop technology. Looking towards the short-term future, our team recommends harnessing the company's Made in America roots to further expand its current customer base. In the long run, after optimizing production efficiencies, we recommend creating a bike for an older audience. As parents and grandparents are the primary purchasers of Guardian Bikes, we believe that this will be the perfect market to expand to. This is supported by with our shift in marketing strategies, as we previously mentioned. Guardian Bikes is primed for long-term success and growth. With our recommendations, we believe that this will bolster and allow the company to take full advantage of what's to come. Thank you so much for listening, and we're now going to open the floor up to any questions.